Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to today's maths lesson. It is the first maths lesson of this week, but also we're going to be moving on to our new unit. So we're going to be looking at time for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to start with our do now as always before we get going on today's lesson. So you've got some arithmetic questions to complete, looking at fractions as well that we've been learning, and also some challenge questions on this side. Obviously choose which ones you'd like to do, but if you want to have a go at all of them, then fantastic. So I'm just going to zoom in so you can see that a bit more clearly. So pause the video, have a go and come back when you're ready. Okay, hopefully you've managed to have a go at those. I'm just going to pop the answers up. So you may want to pause the video and have a look at those and come back when you're ready. Okay, fabulous. So let's get going on today's lesson. So as I said, we're going to be looking at time. Today we're going to focus on telling the time to the nearest 5 minutes. Now this is something you should have done before, but obviously because we've had quite a lot of time off school in year 3, and obviously we're at home learning now, we've not been able to do our usual maths meetings and things, so we're just going to go back and refresh our memories on looking at time to the nearest 5 minutes and then to the nearest 1 minute tomorrow before we move on to more of our year 4 learning. So obviously make sure you're practicing and you're really confident at home as well. Okay, so we're going to recap what things on our clock mean. So I just want you to think, can you remember what does the long hand represent, the blue one, and what does the short hand represent? So I'm just giving you a second to think. So hopefully you can remember that the long hand is my minute hand. That tells me how many minutes past the hour there are. And my short hand, the red one, is telling me what hour it is. So we usually look at the numbers to help us tell what hour it is as well. Okay? So how many minutes are there in 1 hour? So we do practice this in our maths meetings. Hopefully you have remembered it's up to 60 minutes. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So what I've done here is laid it out in a number line for you so you can see that a bit more clearly. That is basically what is going around our clock. It's just in a circle, but we've laid it out to make it a bit more clear here. So you can see each tiny little line represents 1 minute. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. So you can see that on my clock I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. So counting with me your 5 times tables, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and there are 60 minutes in the hour, but remember we would say o'clock when it gets to here. So that might seem nice and straightforward. I can use my 5 times tables to help me, but then when we're telling the time in words, it gets a little bit trickier when we're looking at this side, because I could say it is 5 past an hour, but I don't tend to say it is 40 minutes past, okay, because we use our past and our to. So we're just going to look a little bit more at that now. So we're going to look at past first. So I'm just going to underline that. So when it is past, I'm looking at this side of my clock. Okay? So I'm just going to label that to help you. We're looking at past, okay? So how many minutes past? I haven't put the hour on there because we're just going to focus on the minutes now to help us. How many minutes past is the first one? So I'm going to count in 5 because we're looking at the nearest 5 minutes today, okay? So I could count the little lines in between, but it's going to take me a little bit longer. So we're just going to count in 5s, okay? Because it's pointing at this line here. So count with me at home. 5 is the first jump. 10, 15, 20, 25. Just going to do that one more time. So I start at the 12 and I jump 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So how many minutes past? It's 25 past. I could say 25 minutes past, but usually we would shorten it just to say 25 past. Okay, I'm going to need your help with this one now, so I'm starting at 12, counting with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, so that's at 20, so it's 20 past. Just try one more time. 5, 10, 15, 20. So this one is 20 past. Okay, so at home, I just want you to have a little bit of a think about this one. I'm just going to pause. So look at where it is pointing. How many minutes past, counting in your head or out loud. Have a go. Okay, let's have a look together. So starting at the 12, my first jump is 1, so that's 5, 10. Counting one more time. 5, 10. Not 2 past, it's 10. If I count my little lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is 10 past. Okay, I don't know what the hour is yet, but we're just going to practice our minutes to make sure we've got them. Okay, so let's look now at our minute 2. So when it's 2, remember I'm always looking at this side of the clock. Okay. So for the first one, I could say it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 minutes past. Okay. That's a bit more useful when we start to look at digital clocks, but that's not how we would usually say it. So when I'm looking at 2, I'm going to count backwards, okay, to find how many minutes it is until I get to the next hour. So I'm going to start at my 12 this time and count backwards, 5, 10. So it's actually 10 minutes until I get to the next hour. 10 minutes to. So I'm going to say that's 10 to the next hour. Okay, so let's have a look at the next one. These are all 2, so I'm looking on this side of my clock. So if I look at what this part is, let's count in 5s backwards from my 12. 5, 10, 15, 20. So that is showing me 22. 20 minutes to the next hour. Okay, let's look at one more. So I'm just going to shade that in to help you. Can you at home start at 12 and count how many minutes that is in your 5? Starting at 12, off you go. Okay, let's have a look together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So say out loud, how many minutes to 25 to? Okay, fantastic. So now we've got a bit more on the hang of that. We're going to look at some examples before you go off and do all your independent work. So again, I've colour-coded it for you, but it's a little bit trickier this time because we're looking at the 5 lots of minutes, okay? So look at the minute hand. Is it past or to? So is it past or to? So remember, past is on this side, and the 2 is on this side, okay? 2 and past. I'll pop that there to help us this time. So I know it's on this side of the clock, so it's past, okay? So now I can count forwards from 12 in 5. So I'm going to start my 12 and I'm going to jump 5, 10. I'm going to count that to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. So it's 10 minutes. So I'm going to say 10 past, or we could say 10 minutes past. We're just going to shorten it. So it's 10 past. I've done step 1. And now I need to look at the hour hand. What is the hour hand pointing to? Now remember, this is a bit trickier because it's right a little bit in the middle, but it's only gone 10 minutes past the hour, and it's just slightly past 4, so it's 10 past 4, okay? It's not 10 past 3 because it's past the 4, it's between the 4 and the 5. 10 past 4. Okay, let's look at a couple more examples. Okay, so look at the minute hand. So I'm looking at my blue one. Is it past or is it 2? So I can see it's on this side of my clock, so it's 2. So I'm going to have to start, if it's 2, to count backwards from 12 in 5. So I'm going to start at 12, 5, 10, 15, 20. So there are 20 minutes to the next hour. I'm just going to check 5, 10, 15, 20. Fantastic. So 22 or 20 minutes to, I've done step 1. Now I need to look at the hour hand. What is it pointing to? So I know my minute hand's gone quite a little way around the clock, but I'm not quite at 11 o'clock yet, okay? So remember, if it's 2, I'm not going to choose 10. It's nearly 11 o'clock. So it's 22, 11. Okay? So always pick the next number that it's closest to if it's on the 2 side. I've popped that there to remind you. Let's look at 2 more examples. So keep doing it with me. Let's see if you can do it this time along with me. So first thing, look at the minute hand. So I want you to look at the minute hand on your own at home. Let's see if you can do it without me first. And look at the 12. How many minutes past is it? Because it's on this side. How many minutes past? Okay, let's have a look together. So I'm starting at 12. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 25 minutes past. So 25 past. I've done step 1. Now we need to look at the hour hand. So I want you to think really carefully. Which is it? It's not 2, so I'm not going to be picking the next number. Think about which number it's only just gone past. It's 25 past. Is it 8 or 9? Okay, hopefully you're saying it is 20 past 8 because it's not quite at 9 o'clock yet, and I'm also on my past side of the clock. Okay, it's more of your turn now. Let's see if you can do this one a bit more without my help. Make sure you're doing it at the screen, and I'm not just being silly doing it here on my own. Okay, so look at the minute hand first. So I want you to first of all look at the minute hand. Is it past or is it 2? Is it past or is it 2? So hopefully you've recognised it is 2 because it's on the left side of this side of my clock. Okay, so I know it's 2, but I need to know how many minutes. So if it's 2, I need to count backwards from 12 in 5. So I'm starting at 12. How many minutes is it? Say it out loud. Fantastic. It's only 5 because it's only gone 1 jump back here. So it's 5, 2. I've got that part. Now we need to look at the hour hand. So having a look at your hour hand, I can see it's between these 2 numbers. So what is it going to be? 526 or 527? And I want you to think about why. Okay, say it out loud. Okay, hopefully you have recognised that it should be 7 because it's not quite at the 7 yet. Okay, so it's 5 to 7. Okay, so it's your turn now. You have another sheet in your pack that is on the home learning in your worksheets. So if you want to print this off and have a go, again, you're just writing down the answers for each of the clocks. Obviously, if you can't print it out at home, you can do it off the screen when I zoom in, or you can just look at the sheet and write them down in your book at home. There are also some questions for you to have a go at as well, some apply and reasoning, so do have a go at those. I will pop the answers again on the home learning for you, and then you can mark them before you post to Seesaw. I will also go through the answers on the video quickly, so if you want to pause the video in a moment and come back when you're ready, it's up to you how you want to mark it. So I'm just going to zoom in, so pause the video, off you go, and then come back if you want to mark the answers on the screen. Okay, fantastic. Hopefully you've managed to have a go at all of those questions. Hopefully you've had a go at your apply and reason. So I'm just going to pop the answers up for you. As I say, these are also in the home learning document as well, if you want to look at them later. So you may want to pause and have a look at those quickly, mark your answers. And then I'm also about to pop up the answers for the apply and reasoning questions, which were also in your home learning document. So if you've had a go at these ones, I'm just going to pop the answers up on the screen now as well. So for the first part, you had to read backwards what the clock was saying. So hopefully you could see the numbers there to help you. So the first one was 10 past 12, 25 past 1 and 4:15. And then you had some reasoning questions to do. So hopefully you've managed to write an explanation. So please do post those to Seesaw and the teachers will check your answers. So great work everybody. Time is a bit tricky, so do make sure you're practicing as much as you can at home. Look at the clock, get your parents at home or adults at home to test you and check what time it is throughout the day. Look at the clock when you're doing different activities and think about what time it is. And then we'll keep practicing tomorrow. Fantastic work.